All right, we welcome you back to another episode of Tornado Talk. We took a week off, but we're back tonight, and we have a great show for you all. My name is Ryan Wilkes, live here on YouTube, as are all the Brevard College athletic events here at home. We're glad we can bring that to you. As I've said in the past, in the world of streaming services and subscriptions, we're so happy that we can bring Brevard College to you wherever you may be watching or listening from. So, with a busy show ahead, let's get started thanking our corporate sponsors this evening. BSN Sports, Comporium, Earthling Coffee, Hampton by Hilton, Jets Pizza, UNC Health Party, Pepsi, Pinnacle Financial Partners, Platt, Prolific People, Suburban Propane, Subway, and Zaxby's. So thank you to all our corporate sponsors. As I mentioned in the past, we have continued to add to the corporate sponsorship this season. We want to thank everybody who is contributing in that regard. Before we welcome in our first guest, let's talk about the week a little bit. It was a good week for Brevard College athletics. Brevard College women's soccer won a midweek matchup with Johnson & Wales at Islamel Family Field before clinching its second consecutive USA South regular season title, defeating Southern Virginia on Saturday 1-0. We'll talk about that a lot tonight. Looking forward to that. Brevard College men's soccer went 2-0 with a midweek win over Warren Wilson before a successful senior day 4-0 over Mary Baldwin on senior day on Saturday. Brevard College volleyball dropped a doubleheader to William Peace inside the Bosch on senior day. A couple tightly contested sets, but ultimately the Pacers came out with two on Saturday afternoon. And Brevard College football responded in a big way, dominating in-state foe Greensboro 34-7, scoring 34 unanswered after surrendering the opening touchdown. So with that out of the way, let's welcome in our first guest, first of many tonight from the women's soccer program, Chiara Porcelli. Chiara, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. First of all, welcome to Tornado Talk. It's your first appearance this year in your senior season, and a huge congratulations to you and your team for securing your second consecutive USA South regular season title. How much does it mean for you not only to accomplish this, but accomplish it with a group that returns a lot of talent, a lot of players that you played with last year?
It feels really good. It obviously feels so exciting, just like it did last year. And also just to add some new players and be able to do it again is really good. To be able to play with the people that I did last year is also super fun for me. So, yeah.
So, talking about the players that returned last year, how important has that continuity been for you with those attackers and those other players that were returning from last year? Just to have that from last year to this year, how much more comfortable did that make you coming into this season?
Obviously, within a team sport, there's a lot of relationship that has to be built. So, with a lot of the same returning players, we are just building. We're not forming a completely new relationship. So, we're building on the strength that we left off with, which is really critical. We can just go from there and remember what we had and build on it. So it's just easier to get into the swing of things, know what works already a little bit, know how to play to certain people and cater to a certain game with those people. So, yeah.
So this is a team that ended your season last year. Southern Virginia in penalty kicks took it last year at Islamel Family Field. Was there a sense of revenge, a sense of retribution coming to that game, or was it just another game for you guys?
They're always, I would say personally, I think they're a fun game for us. I think they're always consistently, since I've been here, our biggest competitor. We beat them regular season last year. So when we came back in the tournament, I think they had a little bit of revenge to play through, and now we have it. And then next time we're going to go into it and really want to stand on the fact that we don't want them to take us out of the tournament again, and we really want to finish the business. So it's always a little bit of like extra stuff when we play them.
So talk about that. I've talked to some women's soccer athletes and your coaches this year just about how every game it's a faceless opponent. You come in and you're ready for whoever you're facing off against. But obviously, you knew the stakes here. What did that week of preparation look like? Just getting ready for this game.
It just a lot of hard work, I would say. Our coaches provide us with a plan, and to be able to adjust and go into the plan just at our best ability is always crucial. Know what we're we go in with. And then if game time comes, we have to adjust, being able to have like faith in the fact that we're good enough to make quick changes and hold it out. I would say every game we prepare to the highest ability, because every team comes to us and wants to say, I want to be the team that finally beats them. So I do think every time we play someone, it is a little different for us than other teams get. So I think it's fun to see. And for them, it's another game that we must win. So, yeah.
So statistically speaking, was kind of untreaded territory for you guys. You guys dominated the shot category pretty much all season, and obviously your goal differential is very high. But this game, it was Southern Virginia that was really applying the pressure and attacking at a high level, 27 shots to 8, also 10 corner kicks to none. How were you able to overcome that as a team in a game where you're kind of in unfamiliar territory than you were throughout the year?
I think it's very critical for a team to be able to attack, obviously, which we have proven we can do. But I think it's also a big thing to have a defense. You can't have one and not the other. And our defense finally kind of got their game where like they shined and were able to like show how much work they always put in, just on a bigger scale. I mean, at the shot count to one, I think we got 1 goal in and we obviously had less, but just being able to like defend, and then take up on our opportunity was really important. But we wouldn't have been able to maintain that if we didn't do what we needed to defensively. So just from our goalie and from like the effort and all the defense that we did that game, I think it just proves to the fact that across the board on the field, we are strong and we will work hard wherever the ball is lying. So I think that's important.
So I want to focus on you personally for a second. Senior season, obviously that comes with a lot of emotions, but I want to take you back to before the season. What are potentially some goals that you set from yourself, some things that you wanted to accomplish coming in this year, and how do you feel that you've done with that so far?
For my type of player in the middle, I do a lot of just what I would call like, a lot of us do a lot of the grunt work. So I do a lot of attacking and defensive. I do feel I play a role in transitioning the ball and then transitioning. So my main goal that I always within the 4-year setup for myself is just to be a reliable player, to be consistent, to be someone that the team can count on, to, if we need a last defender, to be there if we needed, to just be a person who's going to work hard, be reliable, and finish the game out and help the team succeed in any way. So I have been proud of myself so far this season. I think that I'm doing what I intended to do, and I don't really worry that much like statistically, because I think a lot of what I do is off the face of the stats, and I just have never been one to really look into it that much. So I do feel confident that I am doing everything I wanted.
So talk about this group, not only on the field, but off. You've had a lot of time with a lot of these girls, also some new pieces working in, Mac Edwards and Skylar Pettibone, and a lot of the young players have had some playing time this year. How is this group with so much different experience ranging from freshman to senior? How has this group kind of meshed throughout the year to look really good on the field?
I would say overall, it was just kind of a natural meshing. I think for the seniors, we do a lot of work to make everyone feel comfortable and to feel welcome in from the get. So right away, we kind of like make sure everyone's meeting everyone. When we do preseason team building, we always mix up the group. So it's never just like all seniors in one area. We really like integrate everybody. So it's kind of like a forced get to know you moment. But they're also all great individuals, and I think that plays a role in recruiting. I think we have personalities that are just willing to learn and wanting to win. And as a new player, you kind of have to learn your way into the relationship that's already built. And part of that is being adaptable. And I think they come with a lot of adaptability and readiness to grow and learn. So it's helpful.
So obviously you all have a bigger goal in mind, and that's the USA South postseason title and earning that crown this year. What is it going to take to achieve that next goal when, each team that you played this year has wanted to beat you guys because you are the team to beat, but that goal only grows larger when you get into the postseason. What's it going to take both mentally and physically to pull that out?
It's just going to take more in all aspects, more effort, more time invested, more like heart when we play. Every team's going to want it back. They're already going to have no kind of what we look to do as a team. So you're going to have some smarts on what we're going to execute. So just making sure we're playing smarter with more intelligence on the ball and off the ball. And then at the end of the day, it comes down to working hard. I think in the SVU game, we proved that we're a team that is going to work until the final second. And I think it's going to take more of that. Everything just doubles, and it's going to take more excitement, more everything. We want to get past just the USA South. We have big goals. And if we could get into the big national tournament for D3, that would obviously be huge for us. And that's going to take more. That's going to take something from a different gear, from a different mindset. And I think we can achieve it.
So one of the biggest positives to getting the top overall seed is you get to play here at Ozumel Family Field. What does that home atmosphere mean to have that? It's really been a strong suit at home this season. I think you guys have had some really good crowds, some really good encouragement. How important is that to have that encouragement behind you when you know the games are going to be physical and it's going to be a 90-minute battle?
It means everything. I think our fans and our team itself does a lot for us. I mean, there's been games where I've been in the 85th minute, like feeling really tired, and just having like people who are constantly in your ear cheering for you. I mean, you don't want to let them down, especially when it's people you care about, your friends who come to watch you. Like, you want to do it for them. So being here does bring a sense of like, okay, we got to stay on our grounds. There's people here who are believing in us. There's a reason they're believing in us. So it's just nice. It's a whole different atmosphere, and it's home. So there's a sense to protecting your house that we value very high as a team. So yeah.
So obviously you got one last game here on Wednesday. It's going to be cold. It's going to be rainy, and you're coming off an emotional weekend. What are the keys to finish this regular season strong and come out with a win against Pfeiffer?
Just no complacent. Don't get complacent. Don't get comfortable. We still have standards as a team that we like to play with, and we want to score goals. We want to get the ball in the back of the net. We want to get some shots off. We want to get people playing. We want to just have a good finishing day, and we want to make a statement before we enter the tournament. Say like, okay, they're going to score. They're going to keep going. They're going to work no matter what. I think that's a big role of like showing that we're happy with this. We're super proud of ourselves, but we could be so much happier if we just keep going and keep building. I think that's a big statement to make, and we look to make it on Wednesday.
So I'll end with a fun question. I don't know if any of your teammates prepared you for this, because I've asked it to every athlete that's come on here for the first time, just for fun. I don't think I've gotten a same answer from anybody yet. What does your pregame routine look like from the time you show up to the field to the time you take the field for warmups? I know you guys have that specific song you like to start with when you come on the field, but what does that hour in advance look like? Do you have any superstitions, any kind of music you listen to?
I get my hair braided, same hair every game. It changed in the beginning because I didn't feel like I was playing the best, so the hairstyle changed. Had a great game, stayed the same, so stays the same. I don't do my own hair either, so a person braids it and a person puts it in its ponytail, and then I kind of do a lot of like pacing, just a lot of moving. I do have I'm connected to the Spotify in the locker room, so I do get my good songs in, and I do have one song that consistently gets played every time before I go out there. Just always has for I think the last 4 years, and I don't think it'll switch up. And I like to drink a coffee. I've never finished it, so that also doesn't change. The coffee doesn't get finished, which I know sounds like a waste, but it's just what has to happen. So yeah.
Shameless plug for one of our corporate sponsors here. If you have not checked out Earthling Coffee, I highly recommend it. I went the other day and it's delicious. So Kiara, thank you for joining us tonight, and congratulations. And good luck on Wednesday and throughout the postseason.
Thank you.
All right, have a good night.
You as well.
That is women's soccer midfielder Chiara Porcelli. While we wait for Abby Nunez and MK Smoke to get situated, they will be the next two women's soccer players to join us. Just want to extend a quick thank you to everybody who has tuned in throughout the weeks. It's been so much fun hosting this show weekly and bringing all the tornado action to you all. We've got busy weeks coming up. We've got the Tornado Club Winter Social tomorrow. We're supposed to have the golf tournament today. Unfortunately, the weather kicked the can on that, but great turnout there and great turnout to everything we've had so far. Men's and women's basketball season coming up. We just had tornado tip-off. We'll have Lee Burgess join the show later tonight to talk the men's team. We had Donald Hudson a couple weeks ago, and the football team returns home on November the 1st to take on Huntingdon. So we'll talk about that later tonight with head coach Bill Kaya. Again, great productive weekend for the football team and for all our sports teams this weekend. Congratulations to all the men's soccer seniors. 4 of them recognized on Saturday afternoon, and a great 4-0 win over Mary Baldwin to close out a busy Saturday. It's been a busy stretch of tornado athletics here on the campus of Brevard College, and just want to thank all of you for coming along for the ride with us as we've moved throughout this show and throughout this fall season. It's been a bit of a grind, but you guys have made it so easy. So thankful for everybody I've come across so far. So thankful for the coaches and the student athletes that come on the show tonight as we wait for MK Smoke and Abby Nunez. I'll just preview with what they did this weekend defensively. Again, faced 27 shots from that Southern Virginia offense, the second best offense in the league behind Brevard. So it was going to be a 90-minute battle. It surely was. Abby Nunez tallied 10 saves to lead the charge there defensively and got a lot of help from that defensive back line. And that 1-0 win over Southern Virginia was really to decide the regular season crown, as Abby Nunez and MK Smoke ready to join us tonight from the admin offices here inside Boshamer Gymnasium. Girls, congratulations on a spectacular effort defensively. And Abby, welcome to the show for the first time. MK, a familiar face. Thanks for coming back. Regular season conference crown for you guys, the second consecutive season. It is evident that Southern Virginia applied the pressure all day long. What did it take both in net for you, Abby, and on the defensive back line for you, MK, to keep the Knights off the board?
It took obviously a lot of communication and really just a lot of heart. Like, it was just like you're giving your 100% on every single ball. Like, we were fighting for our lives.
Yeah, I think as soon as we scored, Abby looked at me and we knew like nothing needed to go back there. Everything had to go out. And I think we just both knew, and as long as everybody else on the team knew that everything was on the line at this point, like we were 1 up and nothing could get behind us.
MK, I'll keep it with you for a moment. Since the last time we've talked, you've remained so stellar defensively. What have been the keys to remaining so consistent, especially in a game like this with the high stakes involved?
I think just working together with my defensive back line has been really key, and making sure we were all on the same page has been really good. Just the communication back there and the overall effort between everyone has really kept me in line, and I think has led us to winning and having a lot of shutouts recently.
So, Abby, as I mentioned, welcome to Tornado Talk. Secondly, what a season it has been for you, allowing just 3 goals all year and none on Saturday against the conference's second top offense, allowing just 3 goals all year, as I mentioned. What have been the keys for you to produce such a great season in your junior year?
Just like MK said, like communication and just, honestly, our back line is like, it's been our back line. I haven't really had a lot of action, They've been keeping everything away from me. That's been great. I've saved what I've had to. And yeah, I don't know. The back line is just, they're just really good.
I think that's really all that needs to be said. The defense has just been so good this year, but I want to keep it on this note with the experience that you all have together from this year and last year when you won the regular season crown as well. In a game like this where you face so much pressure, so much, 27 shots, a season high by far. Like Abby, you said that it's the pressure's kind of been kept off of you this season, but that wasn't really the case on Saturday. I mean, 27 shots to 8, you guys got the deciding goal that mattered. But how does the experience together help you through a contest like that where 90 minutes you're facing pressure all day long?
Well, for me, I mean, MK and I, like, sometimes we don't even have to talk about it. Like, she knows the balls that I'll go for. I know what she's going to let through. And, like, when I say something, she's right there on it. Like, we trust each other, you know? And, like, even in the moments, like, that I get caught out, she's right there on the line. Like, I know she's there. I know she's going to save it. Like, we just, like, trust.
And MK, for you on that back line, I mean, I just mentioned the experience, but a couple girls on that defensive back line you didn't have experience with coming into the year, Skylar Pettibone and freshman Michaela Edwards. How has that continued to grow, and how have you all continued to mesh to really produce kind of a stone wall in that back line of defense?
Yeah, I think at first it was a little bit of a building stage. We had Sophie DePascal on the outside as she played center back last year, and I think some of the girls who were in addition to our back line this year were able to see that relationship and just know, like, if she's stepping, I'm, like, dropping off for a ball. She knows where I am. I know where she is. And I think that has just been able to, like, spread throughout the back line. Like, oh, if she's there, like, I'm here. And I think we do a really good job of working on that in practice as well. Like, just knowing where everybody is on the field and having that awareness has really helped us just grow that, like, togetherness throughout the season.
So Abby, back to you. I feel like this year I haven't really seen it much outside of you. You are an offensive threat for this team, taking the free kicks when you're pretty much across midfield there. What does it mean for you to be an offensive threat for this team? You've tallied 9 shots this season. Haven't found the back of the net, but all the shots have been very competitive. What does it mean for you, and what does it mean for the other teams to have to focus on you as an offensive threat?
Well, I mean, to me, I mean, it's really, I mean, it makes me feel, like, important. Like, you know, there's some games that you don't really get a lot of action defensively, but then I'm able to contribute to us, like, offensively. It's obviously, like, helps me to, like, feel like an important contributor to the game. And I mean, I like to make opportunities for us. I mean, for the other team, I don't know, be scared,
I'd
be
be
worried.
scared.
That's great. So I just talked about uncharted territory for you all as a team there in Buena Vista on Saturday. You're going to face a little bit of uncharted territory in a different way on Wednesday. It's going to be cold. It's going to be rainy. It's been a little chilly at ISML Family Field recently, but not to this extent. Kind of minimal, but what does it take to kind of overcome some environmental challenges like that, especially in the last game of the season where you guys are trying to be true regular season champions here in the USA South?
I think it starts from just keeping the energy up. Like, as soon as we step on that field, like, everyone's lifting each other up and making sure that we're all ready to play. Like, obviously, not one person is facing the conditions alone, so we're all out there together. And I think just bringing that to awareness is really good, and just being able to tackle that challenge all together is going to be really helpful on Wednesday. So hopefully we can secure that big win.
So bigger goals in mind, maybe some unfinished business coming into this postseason for you all. You're looking for the USA South postseason crown, to put it lightly. That's what you guys are capable of, and that's kind of what you guys are looking to do this season. What's it going to take defensively, especially, to kind of keep that pressure off? And you know that the target's going to only grow from this time on. So what are some of the keys defensively to win in the postseason?
Defensively, I mean, we got to just always stay locked in. Like, there's never a moment that you can, like, turn off in the game. Communicate with each other, you know, keep each other accountable, talk to each other. I mean, I don't know what else there is to say. Just, you got to be on every minute of the game.
I think another thing for us is just, like, not getting complacent as to where we are, and being able to grow from, like, even finding the little mistakes. Like, I know we had 0 goals against us on Saturday, but that doesn't mean we didn't make mistakes, and we can grow from the ones that we did make.
All right, Abby, I'll end with this for you. I just asked it to Kiara. I've asked it to MK in the past. What does your pregame routine look like? What's your superstitions, music, that kind of thing, that hour before the game, before you step on the field? What does that look like for you?
Well, I mean, I really, when it comes to like my warm up, that's like kind of where I get a little superstitious. We have to warm up the exact same way. Like we have to start on the exact same side of the goal each time. And then during warm ups, I have to do like a handstand, maybe a push up or two, just like a little like non normal type of stretching. I don't really do a lot of like dynamic stretching. I do a little bit of everything. I mean, if you ask the goalkeepers, they'll definitely know what I'm talking about.
Well, girls, thank you for joining the show. MK, thanks for coming back. Abby, thanks for making your debut this season. And good luck on Wednesday and in the postseason coming up.
Thank you.
All right, y'all have a good night.
Thank you too.
All right, we end our women's soccer segment with the two leads of the women's soccer program, head coach Juan Mascaro and associate head coach Juan Mascaro Jr. Guys, thanks for hopping on tonight. And congratulations. I mean, it's truly amazing what you all been able to do this season and dating back to last year. How proud are you of this group coming after Saturday?
Extremely proud. They've earned it. They worked extremely hard, and they really wanted it. They were locked in. They really wanted it. It was a different type of game for us. It wasn't our typical game that we are normally, out shooting people and all that. We had to be on the other side of things. But I think they wanted it. They worked really hard, and they ended up with the trophy. So, I speak for both of us. I think we are extremely, extremely proud.
Junior, I'll pivot to you since we talked about it in the cafeteria earlier in the week. You mentioned how big of a battle this game was going to be. What did the preparation look like for your group to get ready to go on Saturday in a game you knew that was probably going to be the toughest game of the year?
Yeah, I mean, every year SVU seems to be the game that is the most challenging for us. They're a team that is, very similar to us in terms of level. So it was about, finding a lot of video, recognizing patterns, and showing the team kind of, what their style and kind of what they were trying to execute, and just, finding ways that we could defend what they were trying to execute. How can we defend against their game plan? And the girls, bought in really well. They were focused all week, and they executed our plan really well, which was to minimize their chances. And it was really cool to see how the whole group worked together, and they were all bought in, and everybody had a role in the win. So it was great to go over there and get the 3 points and get the result that won us the regular season.
So I want to go bigger picture real quick. Just talk about this group as a whole, your talented returners that have come back. A lot of programs would be extremely lucky to come across a group like this with the amount of chemistry they have and amount of talent overall. What has this group meant, not only now, but for the future of Brevard soccer, and even with some of these freshmen, to propel you guys forward in the future?
Well, I think that, it's all about the players, right? It's definitely all about the players. It's not about, coaching is overrated. But it's all about them, and it's a group of kids that are special. It's special in more than it's more than just soccer. It's special because they're great people, and I think that having the leadership that we have is going to be interesting for us next year, because we have to switch to another type of leaders, and it's who's going to step up and things like that, right? But I think for this group, it's just they're an amazing group of kids, and they're an amazing players. So we're going to miss them a lot.
So we mentioned it previously. This game was completely different than I think any game this year, if I remember correctly. I mean, Southern Virginia was able to really dominate in the shots department, which has been one of your strong suits this season, but they kept the pressure on all day long. What was y'all's message to the team throughout the game, just to let them know that we're still in this thing and it's only going to take one goal more likely than not?
Well, it was the first thing that we needed to do is not let them score, right? Because I think if they would have scored one goal, it would have been a different game. So it was the first thing is don't let him score. We were tactically fighting different things because they wanted to keep the ball, we wanted to keep the ball. So it was the first half was a little bit of more back and forth. Um, the second half, we decided to go with a little bit more of a low block, go with two holding mids and kind of a false nine. So try to put the number nine, the forward, into the midfield a little bit more just to crowd it up. And when we scored early, right? We scored with like about a minute into the second half. So at that point, it was really low block and defend. And we defensively we're very good. I mean, we're really really good defensively, and it was they would have to earn it, and they did it. We all our and it's not just the back four. I mean, our defensive four was awesome. Our midfielders were great. I mean, the whole team really bought into this low block type of style that we really haven't done that for about a year and a half. We really had to, but you have to do what you have to do. So we defended well, and they couldn't break us. They had a few chances, and Abby had a great game. She made probably like 4 or 5 crucial saves for us. So it's a different type of game with them for sure.
So
Yeah.
on that note, fairly uncharted territory, like I've mentioned for your group this season. Throughout, I wouldn't say cruise control because you all come out with all the same intensity every game, but you've been able to dominate, and that was a game that was going to go down the wire. How important is it to end or come near the end of the season with a game like this when you know the postseason is going to be a battle just like it?
I mean, every game for us is a battle because every team comes in. We call it the X factor, right? It is. You have every team, and you know what they have, but then there's the X factor, which is we're playing Brevard. They're unbeaten for 2 years, so they haven't lost at home since 2022. That's 3 years without not losing at home, 28 games, something like that. So they are gonna bring us their best game. And for us, the difference between playing SVU and Pfeiffer is really thin because Pfeiffer is going to bring their best game. Every single team brings their best game, and we just gotta we've learned to deal with it. We've learned that we have a target on our backs, and that's okay. Good teams do, and that's the whole point. And then you just deal with it, and you outwork them, and you outplay them, and you outshoot them, and you outscore them, hopefully, right? But it is a thing that for us there's no easy game here, easy game there. We have the same mentality. We're a blue collar team that is going to outwork the other team, and that's either defensively, offensively, transition, whatever it is. We're going to try to outwork them.
So I'll end with this for you, Junior. Back-to-back seasons where you all get to host at home for this USA South postseason tournament. How key is that home field advantage, like we've mentioned, when you've got that target on your back and you're going to have to battle for these wins? How much importance does that crowd hold to help propel you guys forward?
Oh, it's very important. You're on a familiar surface. You're playing against your home crowd. Almost a 12th man, right? The fans kind of, they give you that little bit of extra boost of energy when you're at home. So yeah, so it's definitely crucial for us. And in our kind of game plan when we're talking about postseason play is, if we could finish first and host all the way through, that that would just give us a little bit of an extra advantage, just because you're playing on a familiar field, familiar facility. You don't have the wear and tear of the travel and things like that. So yeah, definitely very important, and it gives our fans an opportunity to continue to watch us and then support the team.
All right, fellas. Well, I appreciate you as always. Soak this in for a little while longer before Pfeiffer on Wednesday.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Ryan.
Thanks so
All right,
much.
y'all. Good night. All right, that is head coach Juan Mascaro and associate head coach Juan Mascaro Jr. as we pivot towards men's basketball with head coach Lee Burgess to preview the 2025-26 men's basketball season. Lee, thanks for joining me tonight. And your season's quickly approaching. What have you seen from this team so far in practice this year?
Yeah, Ryan, good to be here. Good to talk with you. First time for me with you on Tornado Talk. So I'm looking forward to the time. Practice has been good so far. We're in a good spot. incorporating basically half of a new roster, which is not abnormal for us. Usually we're keeping about half from a retention standpoint and adding about half. So getting our new guys caught up to speed with what we're expecting, and having them be able to get out there and run systematically what we want with the same pace, intensity, and confidence as the returning guys is something we've been focusing on here in the beginning parts of practice. So we'll get out there Wednesday and exhibition Western Carolina, play somebody else, which is good. It's a good time of year for us to do that. And we'll certainly be able to learn a lot from that experience and learn a lot from that film, and have 6 or 7 practices before we tip it up for real against Oglethorpe.
So you mentioned it, and if I counted correctly, it's a really healthy mix of newcomers and returners this season. 4 transfers, 4 freshmen, 6 upperclassmen. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but you touched on it a little bit. What do you like about the mixture of experience on this roster and the mixture of different backgrounds coming in this team?
Yeah, I mean, we from a returning standpoint, statistically, we return a very good nucleus to build around. I think it's our three top leading scorers are back from last year's group, which is really good. But then from 4 for a while on down, we lost those guys due to graduation and a couple of guys that transferred out. So having to fill those holes, we got several possibilities of returning guys that played roles last year, secondary roles that we'll probably need them to play bigger roles this year. I think they're completely capable of doing that. And then, adding a mixture of some really talented new guys. We have a grad transfer that's very experienced collegiately, has put up some really good numbers, at the college division. And he's a good player. A couple of junior college transfers that have been through the ringer in the junior college world, which is a difficult world to operate in sometimes, and they've made it through that well. And then certainly guys straight out of high school as well. So it's a good mixture. We've got a lot of guys that are in the mix for playing time. Nothing's been decided with that at this point. Nothing's set in stone. Wednesday will be a big day just to see who can produce out there on the floor, who can stay operating, within how we want to play, and who can deal with some adversity and who can deal with some success. And, we'll keep assessing all those things as we point to November 8th.
So on that note, what does it mean to have 2 upperclassmen, Jaden Carnes and KK Horton, that scored in double digits last year, return to this team, not only what they can do offensively, but their leadership on the floor that can be important with a group like this?
Yeah, absolutely. Those guys have had quite a career already. KK is in his 5th year, senior year with us. He didn't play as a freshman due to some injuries. And then Jaden's in his 4th year. Jaden, both those guys have basically been starting since they were freshmen. Have been really good players and statistically putting in a lot of production for us, but have always had some guys ahead of them from a vocal leadership standpoint. Last year we still had a couple guys that were using their COVID year, as 5th year seniors playing for a 5th year. We had a couple just true seniors on the team that had always been a little older than them that had a voice as well. So, those 2 guys, this is really the first time in their careers that it's been kind of their voice as the main ones. Both those guys have done a great job. They've got the respect of the team for sure, just because of their ability level, number one, but how they go about their work. I mean, both those guys practice really hard. They practice consistently. They're both vocal on the floor, and they do it in a good way where guys respond to them in a good way as well. So, I've been very, very pleased with their leadership on the floor in practices so far, and excited to see what the year will bring with them.
So can't go talking about this team without mentioning the 2024-25 USA South Rookie of the Year, Twain Wilson. I talk to Jaquan Casey just about every day, your assistant coach, and he cannot stop talking about Twain Wilson. He's really excited about him. I'm sure you are too. What impressed you the most about Twain in his rookie season, and what steps do you hope to see him take this year?
So the impressive part for me with him for his freshman year was really just how efficiently he shot the basketball. I mean, his percentages were really off the charts for anybody, much less a freshman. So for him to be able to come in and really acclimate to the college game, acclimate to how we want to play, we don't run the easiest system. It's not a very vanilla system. It's not a very simple system. I mean, it's complex. For him to be able to absorb it, find ways to function on the floor within it, and be super productive, that was a very impressive thing for me. Now moving forward to this year, I think there's just a level of comfortability with him. He's not really learning anymore. Now he kind of knows what to do, what's going to be expected. There's just been a big step in terms of how intensely he's been able to go forward with his work in the preseason here. Be very aggressive. He's still shooting the ball really well. He's getting to the rim really well. He's guarding really well. He's taken a big step from last year to this year already. So yeah, we're excited about him being back. Proud of him for his accomplishments. And now, you know, they don't really mean anything now. And let's go back to work and put another good foot forward in the sophomore year.
So talking about a little bit about the USA South as a whole, it seemed like last year everybody kind of beat up on everybody. It was anyone can be anyone on any given night type of league. What does that mean for your team to battle night in and night out, knowing that, you know, everybody can be everybody in this league? Yeah,
it first of all, I mean, it makes league play a lot of fun. You know, you've got to bring it. You know, you've got a chance in every game. And it makes for some real exciting finishes. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it was toe-to-toe with everybody. Some really close games with the top of our conference. Some tight games with teams that finished at the bottom of our conference as well. And so, yeah, every game, you know, you've got to be on edge. You've got to be sharp. You're not going to be able to go out there and play poorly and expect to come out with a win. You're probably not going to go out-athlete anybody. We had some games where we shot it really well, where it was going to be hard to beat us. It was going to be hard for anybody to beat us on those nights. Then some games where we didn't shoot it well, and it was going to be hard for us to beat anybody, you know, on nights like that. So, yeah, the margin for error was really, really thin, really small. I would expect it to be very similar this year. I think it's going to be a very competitive league, top to bottom again. I think there's going to be a lot of teams with the chance to go win it. So yeah, I think we'll be in that mix as well. So we'll see how the season goes, and you know, see what we're doing in February.
Don't want to show our hand too much because we're going to chat again tomorrow night, especially for anybody of the Tornado Club tuned in tonight. So I'll end with this. You start the season with 2 games at home against Oglethorpe and LaGrange. What are you hoping to see about this atmosphere in the Bosch this year to try and help your team win some games at home?
Yeah, I mean, Bosch is a great place to play. You know, tell recruits anytime they come through. I mean, the walls are nice and close. The ceiling is nice and close. It's a small area which holds noise really, really well. So we get some people in there yelling, and it's a tough environment to play. I do hear from multiple coaches, yeah, it's just a hard place to go play, which is great. Love that. And so I hope it is hard for them to go play. So, yeah, would love to see a great turnout. Hopefully we give them a lot to cheer about. And it can be a rocking place. And when the game is done, that those coaches leave thinking, man, that's a really hard place to play.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks for joining me tonight. I'm looking forward to chatting with you tomorrow. We'll get a little bit more into the nitty-gritty of this 2025-26 season. So thanks for hopping on tonight. Looking forward to our future conversations.
Great. Sounds good, Ryan. Appreciate it.
All right, Coach. That is head coach of the men's basketball team, Lee Burgess. Again, the Tornadoes tip off on their 2025-26 season on November 8th at home against Oglethorpe. So we'll end this show tonight, as we always do, with head coach of the Brevard football team, Bill Kyatt. Coach, been a couple weeks, but glad to have you back on the show.
Good to see you, Ryan. Thanks for having me.
Coach, really impressive win on the road against an in-state, don't know if we'll call them rival, but in-state foe, Greensboro, on Saturday, 34-7. What did you like from your team's response, once again, bouncing back from a loss to get this win?
Right. Well, it was really the approach to the game. So following the loss at LaGrange, I really felt that any confidence that they did have in themselves had been shaken severely and almost lost. So early in the week we met, and, you know, I had to bring up to them the history of our program and really our dominance over the last 6 years in the USA South, with a record at 28-11, and they're a part of this Brevard College football program. And I pointed something out to them that the last time that Brevard found themselves at 1-2 in conference play, because in that past 6 years, we have never lost more than 2 games within conference play. And the last time we sat at 1-2 was 2019. And they couldn't believe it because they know 2019, we went 8-2. It's the best single season in school history, won a bowl game and all that sort of thing. So when they realized, well, wait a minute, 2019 team sat at 1-2. So this is possible. And it's not just a coach trying to motivate players to go out and do it. It happened in real time, in real life here at Brevard. So that was the first thing to get them going for the week. And then, that kind of changed the approach and the way we went about practicing. And then what I really liked that I didn't get to quite see until the game got underway, but with giving them that confidence, they still need to make plays in order for that confidence to grow. And, going into the game in the past, we had talked so much about rules football. Okay. And if they don't do the things, execute properly, it's just very difficult to win. So there was a lot of focus on that, but you don't want that to be the only factor that they think about, because then if that's what they're doing when they go out and play, football coaches, maybe they use it in other sports. I don't know. I don't coach another sport, but in football, we use the term, paralysis by analysis. So they're sitting there thinking, and then they just don't move, and then they get beat or tackled or sacked or whatever happens. So we wanted to release that pressure from them of having to think on every play. And we really just wanted them to be able to cut it loose and just play football. It's the game they love. Some of these kids have been playing since they're 5 years old. So they understand the game. They know what it's all about. We just wanted them to have fun and just turn it loose. And as the game progressed, starting in the first quarter, a little slow start, but once one play was made, then the next one. And I reminded the coaches passed along the message to the players, and then you saw it play out on the field. And then all of a sudden, there were bodies flying. I mean, there were some hits going out on there, and I mean, some vicious hits, vicious, illegal hits, great big plays made offensively, explosive plays, special teams jumping in the mix. I mean, so it looked like the Brevard College football program that got 3 first place votes going into the start of the season.
So you mentioned those big hits. Before I get to my next question, have you asked Robert Dorsey if he's considered a career in WWE following his football playing career? I think that's something he could look into after what he did on Saturday at Greensboro. Talking about the defense, I mean, I always like to kind of find a stat that you might not see just looking at the final score. And that stat is 5 of 10 Greensboro drives went 10 plays or more, and they only scored on 1. We've talked about every time we've talked about that bend, don't break mentality. That was, again, a factor in this one. What have you continued to like about your defense and their ability to bend but not break in these games?
Well, we talk about it all the time. In football, a win is a win. Okay, now the kids say a dub is a dub, but a win is a win, and it matters not how it comes. So if you win 3-2, if you win 77-75, it matters not. So if you look at what we did defensively specifically, if you told me we were only going to give up 7 points, and in fact, we were only going to give up 7 points on the first drive and they were never going to score again, I will take that all day, every day. So it was great to see them on that first drive to be able to make the adjustments, because that's a whole different strategy within a game. You game plan all week for certain things. And oftentimes, you see exactly that. And you've been prepared for it, so you should be able to make some plays during the week. But then there are some things that surface during a game. You say, oh, okay, well, that one's new. There's a new wrinkle. There's something different. And you have to be able to make those adjustments. So to be able to do that, and then what our defense does extremely well when you say bend, don't break, it's, okay, make them work for it. Make them earn every yard they get. And when they crack, when they show just a little sign of weakness, we pounce on it and make a play, whether that's a turnover, a sack, a turnover on downs, something big to help things go our way.
So what a stretch it's been for Bailey Ramey, 13 tackles for him. But your defense as a whole generated pressure getting in the backfield all day long, tallying 8 tackles for loss as a defense, with Robert Dorsey claiming 3. How important is it on the road, especially to get a team off schedule, create those long down and distances? You had a 4th and 18 stop where you backed Greensboro up on a tackle for loss. How important is that to get the offenses off schedule and create those long down and distances?
Well, it's all needs to be done the right way. So everything in moderation is applies to football just as does to many things in life. So to sit back and just play very basic football 101, I mean, you're going to get attacked and blown out. It may help you cut down on errors, but it's just too simple for the opponent to know what's happening. If you go the other route and just unleash everything at all times, well, now they're going to be able to counter that. So it's the perfect balance of knowing when to really go after the opponent and attack versus sit back and let them do what they need to do. And maybe there's an unforced error or something in there and you're playing some ball. So it's that whole strategy and chess match that's happening. But certainly, if you think about it from a play caller's perspective, meaning the offense, the opposing team's offense, what are you looking at on your call sheet when you're going, okay, well, it's 3rd and 18. I mean, how many options do you really have? So it limits the menu for the opposing team's offense to be able to call plays when our defense gets a tackle for loss, gets a sack, causes some kind of disruption to have these guys what we call off schedule. So now they're saying, geez, I'm behind the chain. So just the first part of the chain is 5 yards ahead of me, and I got another 10 to go after that. So it makes it very difficult for that play caller. And again, that puts a lot of stress on offense to make those plays because, I mean, if you're going to get that far, you got to run long lines down the field, and that takes time for those players to get down there, which allows more time for guys like Robert Dorsey to get in the backfield.
So one thing we didn't get a chance to talk about last week when we took Monday off, I typically like to look through the box scores, and if there's something that catches my eye that might look wrong, I'll text Joseph and be like, hey, they might have gotten the wrong number or something here, and I saw number 9, Jaden Deaton, with a handful of tackles at LaGrange. Talk about Jaden's athleticism and how he really helps bolster the secondary.
Right. So, with some of the things that have taken place defensively, whether those are statistical issues or issues within personnel, we had to look on our roster, as my wife would say, go shopping within the house to decorate in different areas. So we went on our roster because I can't go outside the program and have an unrestricted free agent that I can sign or trade with another team. And we found a player who was willing. I mean, and he actually offered his services as having played that position in the past, had been very good at it. And at the time when we brought him to running back, we actually needed him in that spot. And he was willing to do that. One of those guys that says, Coach, what can I do to help the team? I'll do whatever it takes. You just let me know. So that's kind of his approach to the program. And that's why we had him at running back, because he could do some things. And then, as you've mentioned in previous weeks, boy, we got a stable of running backs, right? So we have enough to function there. Where we were a little thin was back there in the secondary. And we thought, wow, what great leadership. We got a guy that is an older guy. I mean, not just his actual age, but in the classroom, and great experience. And boy, he has injected so much life into the defense over the past 2 weeks, just getting guys. So many guys are playing better than they've ever played because he's back there. His athleticism allows him to cover a lot of ground, cover explosive players that the offense has, and he can come up there and hit now because he covers kickoffs and goes flying down there and hits some bodies. And he's doing the same thing playing defensive back, comes screaming down there, and you better watch out if you have the ball in your hand.
It's a great segue to flip into the offense, where we will talk that stable of running backs that you have. It was another heavy dose of the ground game. And this time it was Rayshawn Williams that had a day. And we've talked a lot about Rayshawn and his ability. And I think it's been a combination of injuries here and there, and then riding the hot hand in a certain game. But this time it was his turn to have a day in the ground game. What does it mean for him to contribute to his highest potential like he did this weekend?
Well, his work ethic is what really allows him to produce the numbers that he does out on the football field. So if anything, he may be guilty of overtraining, if there is such a thing. So he's just one of those guys that you just try to tell him, hey, just got to slow down. You're working so hard, and I love it. I appreciate it. But your body needs time to rest and repair. So it was getting him to understand that. Where, hey, it doesn't mean that you're lazy because you took the day off. Do something that's active recovery. Do something to allow your body to grow and repair. So once he was able to get that in his mind and understand that concept, it allowed him to get on the field for more than one carry, more than 2 carries. So once he went out there, there were certain things that we were running where he was just a right back for that call on that day. And as you call it, the hot hand. I mean, if somebody's in a rhythm, why take them out? And if the defense is having issues stopping it, well, why do you stop calling it then? Why would you call something else until they make an adjustment, until they do something differently, until somebody stops that? Just continue to roll. And that's what we did. And it was great to see him, because he really, really does put a whole lot of effort into preparation. And for him to not get the payout on the field is obviously extremely disappointing to him. So it was a joy for us to see him do what we knew he was fully capable of. That came as no surprise that he was going to do that. Much like we're talking about Jaden Deaton injecting energy into the defense with his leadership and the way he plays. You can certainly apply that same statement to Rashawn, because when he goes in there, he runs hard. So is he elusive? Yeah. Can he get some speed on that? Sure. But boy, when he's going downhill and somebody gets in his way, he's not tiptoeing around anybody. He's going to run right through them.
So Ethan Beamish only threw 15 passes in the passing game this past weekend, but one of his completions found the hand of Alex Bolton, who is our host of Inside the Tornado. He does a great job with that show, but 54-yard reception for Alex. Alex, again, is another guy that's faced some injury issues this season, but what is his re-addition to this lineup with his height and athleticism provided just another option in the wide receiver room?
Well, he's very rare athlete, meaning that he is extremely tall, so he's got the size. He's got incredible strength. He's up on our leaderboard in the weight room for guys that have put up some good numbers as far as resistance training. But he's got some blazing speed as well. So it's this lethal combination at receiver. And we had major plans for him going into this season. He had a great spring. I mean, he was ready to roll. And unfortunately, he had an injury, lower body injury that prevented him from being able to do the things that he wanted to do. And when you have one of those type of injuries, it sometimes takes a while to get back. And if you try to rush it too soon, you re-aggravate it. And then there's just no way. And then you lose a whole season. So we intentionally sat him out until he felt extremely healthy. And then it was just a matter of getting into the groove with all the different receivers that we were using and in different capacities. It was, where did he fit in? Like, where really was his role? And we slowly started getting him integrated into the system over the last few weeks. And it was just a matter of time before that breakout happened. So who knows what's going on in the game plan this week? We don't know. We shall see. But the intent would be that you'll be calling his name more often than you have in the past, for sure.
So we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, and again, you mentioned it's not a trend you want to continue, because then you're going to finish 5-5 on the year.
That's your jinx, but all right.
Yeah. But you guys have been great after losses this year. I mean, you talked about the mentality and what you said to the team to get them ready mentally. But what did you see on the field, execution-wise, that was better from last week to this week?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, there had been so much talk about the rules, and the rules meaning that the guys, they have to understand what the play call is, or what the offensive call is, what the defense call, what the special teams. They got to know, first of all, what it is and at what point do I apply it. And the place where we were having difficulty was a post snap. Okay, so meaning before the snap, and everybody's just standing there, you can say, okay, I know I have him, or I'm going to run this route, or I got this, I have that. Simple. But there are certain rules that when the ball snapped, now you have to say, okay, if he does this, I do that. But if he does this, then I got to do that. And that was where the problem were occurring, was in that post-snap situation. So that's what we really concentrated on during the week, or try to reduce as many of those opportunities as possible to make it easier for the players not to have to think while the play's going, okay, that one, yeah, this one. So we try to eliminate as much of that as possible for the players, and then they just turned it loose. I mean, it was just such a joy to watch those guys play, because I'm telling you, they were smiling on the football field. Now that sounds odd because, you think of football and, we're going to go out here and we're going to tackle people and block people and do all these things. But when you're having fun, you're smiling. When you're enjoying the game like you should, you literally come off the field with a smile on your face. And to see that for those guys, that's what you want. You just want to see the light in their eyes when they come off the field, just glowing, saying, man, that was so much fun. I made the tackle. I made the catch. I scored the touchdown. I had the key block. I threw the ball. I had a great punt. Whatever it is that they're doing, just to see the light in their eyes and to see that kind of joy. I mean, that's one of the main reasons that you coach football.
Now, you return home this weekend to square off with Huntingdon, who was the preseason favorite in the conference. And you, as all coaches know those preseason polls mean nothing, but it's somewhat proof that Huntingdon has talent on this squad, despite their 3-4 record so far this season. What does your team have to do here at home and start to string some wins together, as we mentioned, together on the back end of the schedule?
Well, the first thing we need to do is to never discount Huntingdon. So, Huntingdon's a top shelf program. And as long as I've been here, it's Huntingdon. It's Huntingdon. It's Huntingdon. It's Huntingdon. Now, Maryville slipped in there once or twice, Bellhaven. But for the most part, they just find a way. So that long stretch when it was always the New England Patriots winning, they could either do it by dominating people or every now and then they just find a way to slip in and win the championship. It was University of Alabama. Now it's the Kansas City Chiefs always figuring something out. It's just one of those teams. They just do everything right. It's just in a way they play on the field. They execute everything properly. And that's difficult to beat if you didn't have very good players. Just executing properly is already difficult to overcome. Well, now you add the players to it, then you become dominant. And some of the players they have on their roster, that 3 and 4 that you just threw out is not indicative of the team that they have by any means. So they have the leading rusher. We talk about our running back, Zion Fauntleroy McDaniel, ZFM, and he's not first. He's second. To whom is he second? The Huntingdon running back. Okay, so Huntingdon has the leading rusher. Okay, and then we have great returners. We have great receivers. Okay, well, who do they have? All right, wait till you see their receiver. All right, number one. So he scores a lot of touchdowns. He's got 9 of them, and is very explosive. Devin Hester-ish, maybe on returns, punt returns. So that's a lot of firepower there. You flip it to the defense. We have Robert Dorsey. Well, they have their number 92 that leads the conference in sacks with 8. So you got a defensive end that can make a lot of plays. Then you also have Bailey Ramey for us, second in the conference in tackles. Well, they got 3 guys right behind Bailey Ramey, 3 linebackers making a lot of tackles. So they have players all over the field that can really do some damage if we don't execute properly and do the things that are asked to do within the game plan. They can be very disruptive on defense and then certainly score a lot of points offensively.
All right, Coach. Well, I, for one, have been missing football here at Ives-Small Family Field, and I'm sure you've missed being here at home. So I'm looking forward to this weekend, and thank you, as always, for taking the show to its conclusion tonight.
Certainly. All right, good to see you, Ryan. Take care.
Yeah. All right, that's head football coach Bill Kide as we close out another episode of Tornado Talk here live on YouTube. Again, thank you all for joining tonight. We look forward to a slower but also pretty busy week here on the campus of Brevard College. Got women's soccer on Wednesday to round out its regular season before football at home at noon on Saturday against Huntingdon, as we just talked about. So looking forward to taking you all along with us this week. Again, all events live on YouTube. Feel free to join free of charge. Looking forward to talking to you then. Again, closing out another episode of Tornado Talk. We will talk to you next week here live on YouTube.